my second attempt trying to record this because last time I realized my entire recorded screen was frozen. Thanks, AMD. I was getting sick of playing World of Warships because all of their monetization on literally everything, even tech tree ships you could get for free eventually, were just locked behind a paywall for the longest fucking time. So when I saw this release, this game called Once Human, I was like, oh, everything they're selling appears to be cosmetical. So it's like, even their battle pass, the only thing you could get from them were cosmetical items. So I was like, oh, this seems pretty cool. I want to see how this holds up. Yeah, literally everything in the premium battle pass is cosmetical. Everything you got for free, that actually gave you resources you could use, like Stardust, quick activators, little things like that. It just gave you for free. And the ones that did sell in the premium battle pass were purely cosmetic. Like, you could get any resource down here that would help. So when I learned about that, I was like, okay, let me check it out. And then the first thing I look at is their shop, and I'm like, oh, everything in here they're selling is cosmetical, or it is rental blueprints. So you could rent the weapon for a few days and see if you like it, and if you do like it, you can go try and find it, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm like, okay, I'll play it. But then the first issue I ran into is, get this, every single task is season locked. As in, this one, I have no idea when it's going to unlock. I really hope it unlocks in Chapter 3. But this one won't unlock until Stage 4. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Because Stage 2 ends in 4 days. 4 days until this one unlocks. And then when this one unlocks, I have to wait for this one to unlock before I can even do this damn mission right here. And then it's like, I could go over here and do all these exploration missions and activate all these teleport towers. But the second thing I learned more recently, like a few hours ago, is they plan, after these seasons are done, they plan to wipe the whole, every single item you have, except for your blueprints and a few of your currencies, are gonna be gone. Like, this is gonna stay, your blueprints are gonna stay, I don't think these are gonna stay. I have no idea if these will stay, but I really hope they do, because you have to get pretty far into the game to unlock items you can actually sell to make this currency. So I hope these stay, but I don't think they will. They plan to wipe everything, so it's like you'll still have the blueprints. You just can't apply the calibration modification of blueprint to this. Because, to the blueprint itself. You can apply it to the weapon after you make the weapon, but that's the issue. You have to make the weapon. The weapon goes away after the wipe. So it's like, don't even bother changing the attributes of your weapon. These, don't even bother calibrating them because they're going away. Don't even bother calibrating any of this shit because it's all going away. Oh, but it makes these missions easier. Yeah, but what's the point of making these missions easier if they're season locked? Like me, I recently have a bunch of times, so it's like, okay, what do I do now? Now that I'm capped, it's like, okay, I could go do all of these unlocks. Fuck the Prime Wars. I'll get into that later. I could do all these unlocks, unlock all these towers and stuff like that, but what's the point of unlocking all this stuff if it's just going away in a few days? Well, weeks. It's all going away in a few weeks. It's like, what's the point in doing it? I have no idea. I guess the only benefit to doing one of these things is the mystical crates. You just go through here and get the mystical crates. Because the mystical crates will always give you a blueprint fragment. Blueprint fragments. Usually enough to make a blueprint for a weapon. Which is how I got stuff like this. This I got in the wish machine. Which is how I got stuff like this. This. I got it all from mystical crates. This one I bought with a wish machine. It's like, okay. Also, there's this really annoying bug where it's like, oh, you have new mods you haven't looked at, but you can't actually see them. It's like, I have... all these mods are ones I've already looked at, but this still appears like I haven't seen a new mod. It's like, yes, I know. I've looked at all the mods. Go away, please. But that's just small. That's a small issue. But then, it's like, okay, what are they gonna do after they wipe this? Just start the story all over and you have to go through everything again? No, they're like, oh, we're just gonna change the story. Which, I don't know about you, but I don't have faith in that if not even Claire, one of the main characters for this storyline, has all of the voice lines. Your main character doesn't even have voice lines for the storyline. I don't even think they have many voice lines. I know they have voice lines when you melee something, and occasionally, very rarely when you get kicked, you start, your character makes noise. But there's no voice lines in this main story. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe, because I've never played it, but I believe Genshin Impact, your character had voice lines. Your main character. Which is like, okay, I guess you could make the argument, silent protagonists could work. Which is true, they could work. But not even all of your main story quest givers have voice lines. Because some of their quests don't give you, voice lines. I know Lo, all his voice lines work. Actually, I think some were bugged and didn't. Not all voice lines were in this game for the main story. So, what happens in 6 weeks, well, in a few weeks, when the season resets, and they release a new story? Are they just gonna get rid of voice lines altogether? Or are they gonna have to keep bringing in new characters to get new voice actors to voice them? But I don't completely trust that that's gonna happen based on the fact that Claire doesn't have all their voice lines for all her missions. And she's like one of the main characters for the storyline, along with Lo. And it's just like, what? I don't completely trust that story change is gonna be good at the very least. If your main story, your first story, isn't even fully complete by all things considered, like there's voice actors in the game voicing these characters, but not all their lines have voice. Not even all their characters have mouths animate, but some of their animations work. Sometimes their face moves for like, certain cutscenes. Not all the time. There's so many animation bugs with story quests. It's like, when your season resets, is your story gonna be way worse than the first story? And what's the point of the new player joining this game right fucking now? Right now, when we're already almost halfway through the goddamn season. Because by the time you get to where I am, the season might even reset. Because not everyone has this much time. I'm lucky right now to have this much fucking time to where I'm maxed out and there's still 4 days of this goddamn stage left. So I can't actually do anything. Like, okay. Technically that's not true. Technically I could still do stuff. I could gather resources to either make things that gather resources for me, like this drill for instance, which I'd like to mention fucking sucks. It only digs like 100 ore. It only digs like 100 ore, takes 3 hours to complete, but halfway through, like in the first hour, when you complete this drill, it gives you the 100 ore, but then it continues to go for 3 more hours, and then nothing happens, so you have to come, like, log in or whatever for 3 hours later and restart this damn thing because it won't have actually done much except give you 100 ore. And it's like 100 ore, that sounds like a lot, except until you realize that you have, if you have this, advanced drill right here, you go over here, you find some ore that you're looking for. In this case, I'm looking for tungsten. Let me find 1 tungsten ore real fast. You get 30. You get 60. You get 90. That's silver, that's the wrong ore, but you get the point. You only have to mine 4 ores to get the exact same, if not more, tungsten than this drill does. So at this point, this drill is basically just a waste of tungsten. So you can either do that, you can either grind more resources, so you can build new things like explosives, new weapons, different weapons, so you can try out different things. But here's the issue. All of that shit's going away. So when you've already completed the main story to where you're combat locked until the new stage starts, what do? Because if you start grinding resources to what you're doing in the game, guess what happens? You lose all that progress. Also, I believe your cat stays. I really hope so, because it's the best invention they ever put in this game. But it's like, now what? You have to wait until stage 3, you possibly even have to wait till stage 4, because it might only unlock harder silos, which aren't gonna be that much harder, and I believe it's unlocking hard mode of Prime War, which is already fucking stupid, because like, it took this server, I believe it was, I'm on 31, this server, it took at least fucking 3 to 4 days after the update came out to group everyone together to complete this twice. We completed this twice back to back. That's it. The update was, the stage was out for 3 days, but no one could complete it until we could get the whole server over there to bring whatever explosives they had, whatever they could bring, whatever they could do. At some points, just even shoot at it with whatever the fuck you had to get it down and beat it twice in 3 days on easy. That's the problem. This was easy difficulty for this Prime War. The next stage, it's gonna unlock hard mode for Prime War. I don't even know why you'd want to do that unless they actually give you more resources, which I don't believe they do, which is why I'm going to check right now. But it's like, but let's see, hard mode. Yeah, you do get a little bit more resources. You get, you get that. I'm sure that's useful for something. And then you get level 3 cortexes, which I don't even do these anymore after I got this, after I got this Barrett blueprint. I stopped caring about blueprints altogether because I finally got the blueprint I wanted. But it's like, okay, I guess you could do those to get more blueprints if you want to do grind more blueprints, which first of all, it's recommended you do it level 50 and have 4 people. This one's 40 and 2 people, so I can only imagine this being level 50 isn't actually gonna mean you should be level 50. If you want to do this solo because you don't have friends like I do, you're gonna have to do this. You're probably gonna have to be like level 75 to be able to complete this easily solo. So you have to work 10 times as hard for marginal gain. Like, to be fair, I was like level 38 when I did this the first time, but I just had to do it by myself. It was painful, but I did it by myself. And now I'm just locked out of everything. I can't do anything. Sure, I could do some of the side quests, but where is one side quest? Oh my god, here's a side quest. They don't give me resources I need if I wanted to upgrade my weapons. It's like, it gives me XP, but what am I gonna do with XP since I'm maxed on my level until a new stage? It gives me energy points, but I already have 100,000 of them, and I'm already max level, so I can't get any more cradle points to upgrade this stuff. So I'm already locked out of here as well. I already have this maxed. I can't upgrade this further. Oh, also, when I first unlocked level 40, this was super annoying because you could actually scroll down and see what these were. Now that I'm max level, what do I do now? I literally have nothing I can do. Because if I wanted to, oh my god, if my game just crashed. Okay. If I wanted to add this to where my gun is more accurate and stuff, it doesn't shake as much, which actually might be super beneficial on the Barrett now that I'm thinking about it, because then you could fire significantly more faster because it's significant aim shake reduction. So in theory, that would make your Barrett have to use less recoil. So it might be a good benefit, but you need Stardust. You don't get that from doing monoliths, or you at the very least you get very little from doing that from Prime Wars. I don't even think you get any from when there's a rare mission over here. The only way to do that, at least relatively quickly, is to do silos. Which, the issue with silos is you can only get so many rewards from them. I mean, sure, you can do it infinite amounts of times, but it's also like, you start getting reduced resources that you can go over here and scrap and get bonus resources. So if you want to get those bonus resources, you can only do the silos once, and then I believe if you relog, like 10 minutes later, it'll respawn everything. But even then, it's like still inefficient. So if you wanted the extra resources, you'd have to go to a town you've already completed, get all the loot in the entire town that you can find. Which takes forever because not every building is accessible, so you have to go around, see what's accessible, see what actually has loot in it, or what's a waste of time, find the most efficient path, blah 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 blah, and then even then, you might not get the resources you need. Like, I've completed this town so many times because I needed rubber, and I didn't get, I got like 5 rubber. 10 rubber, maybe if I'm lucky 40 rubber, when I needed hundreds upon hundreds of rubber. like I got a bunch of every other resource. Also I needed a fuck ton of acid. I didn't get very many acid. It's like, okay. So you don't do silos if you want acid. You don't do silos if you want resources. You only do silos if you desperately need stardust. But if you are doing stardust, you have to go in mind and say, if you're doing stardust, you can't get any other resource. At least not as effectively. And then if you want acid, you don't actually want to go to the high tier worlds. You want to go over here and then start grinding acid over here in Holt Town. Why, you might ask? Because that has the most fucking entity density. It has 3 bosses. It has one in the playground over here, one that spawns over here, and one that spawns over here in the parking lot, which give guaranteed acid. And then on the plus side, there's a bunch of enemies that can't have a chance to drop acid on killing them. So in between these 3 bosses that guaranteed give you 5 acid, you're gonna be killing like, I don't know, 30, 40 enemies all on the way, pathway to get there that might give you 80 acid, 100 acid. So you want to go over to here if you want acid specifically, but if you want any other resource, you have to go to somewhere like, not there, that's level 20. You have to go somewhere like Blackfell. This one actually isn't that efficient because it's just a vertical tower. It's skyscraper the game. There's places like here where you could get some good resources. I don't think you could get that many good resources from here because it's mostly vertical. There's over here where you could get some resources. I don't know why my game keeps freezing. It's never done this before. There's over here where you could get some good resources. This one has very little resources in it. So it's like, if you want Stardust, you gotta do Silo. But if you want to do any other resource, you can't do Silos because you won't get them. You have to do everything else. And if you do everything else, you aren't getting Stardust, which you need to craft most things. Like, let's see here. I don't know. If you want a vortex generator, you need Stardust. If you want, I believe certain grenades need Stardust. Yeah, if you want thermite, you need Stardust. If you want to fucking make high explosive grenades, you need Stardust. If you want to make, you want ammo? You want ammo that actually does damage? Oh, you need Stardust for that. Don't worry. If you want it to actually be extremely good, if you have a burn weapon, you need like 4 times the Stardust. The Stardust for the most is calibration. Because you need it to calibrate your weapons to make them quote unquote better, but that's the main issue. Is you make the weapons better, sure, but the weapons go away after the wipe. You'll keep the blueprints of the weapons, but you won't keep the goddamn weapon. So all of the calibrations you do are completely useless. I believe calibrated after calibration 2 is the most worthless thing you can do because it requires Stardust. Probably the major problem with this game. All of your stuff goes away except for, I believe, Deviant Stay. I know this currency over here, the Sacrum stays, so basically before the season ends, you want to use all of your cortexes so you can make as much of the Sacrum as possible. I don't know if this stays. I hope it stays, but I doubt it. And then your mods stay, but you lose everything. So basically, just make a tier 5 weapon. Don't even bother calibrating it, because if you make anything hell, if you want to make it a little bit better, calibrate it twice. But don't calibrate it past that, because that just wastes your stardust at that point. They're cosmetics, they don't do anything. So, cool, you kept things that look, but the weapons are the things that you actually need in the game to actually do things you're getting rid of. Like, God forbid you maxed out your cars like I did because it was kind of hilarious to have this speed. Thing you see goes away. I can't even do any of the bosses because guess what? The server doesn't let you do it unless you're at a certain stage of the game. So even though I'm already level 90 in this level 60 capped battle pass, I'm already level 50, the max level I can get in the stage. I can't do anything until the next stage starts. And then, even then, I'm not even sure how much more I can do. Yeah, you unlock hard mode in the monolith, maybe even the silos, but I'm pretty sure you don't get that many more resources from doing it on hard mode compared to normal mode. So it's like, what else am I supposed to do if all of these missions are locked until stage 4? Nothing. That's all you can do, is nothing. I'm done. Now what? Am I supposed to just go back to World of Warships? Play a different game since there's nothing else to do? Yeah? Okay, well, thank you.